This is not your typical championship game. Make no mistake, this is a road game played in a hostile environment with plenty of distractions. The biggest distraction is the crowd. These Kansas City fans are as loud and as nuts as RSL fans. But this RSL team isn't fazed by the crowd or hecklers. Watch this. Borchers, Borchers. See, he's not rattled at all.
Well, it's going to be hostile for sure. They have great fans and great support. Obviously, a championship game, it's only going to up, the amount of energy their crowd brings. But like you said, we've played in a lot of important games in front of big crowds.
Another distraction is going to be the weather. It's going to be in the teens tomorrow. But you know what? I'll be ready. Let's play soccer.
Both teams are going to have to deal with it. Obviously not optimal settings, but it's going to be cold. There's no question about that.
Certainly not ideal weather, but it is what it is, and we're feeling pretty excited to be here no matter what. So no complaining out of us. We just got to go out and try to get the job done no matter what the weather's like.
Day on the beach when you're in the MLS Cup, right?
Hey, listen, I'll take this over a day on the beach anytime.
And of course, how can you avoid the distraction of Kansas City's famous barbecue ribs? You can't. Can you resist? Are these too tempting? No, don't do it, man. Wait till after the game.
All right. I know what? I'm really hungry right now, Dana. But I'm hungry for an MLS Cup. That's what I want, all right? I'm hungry for MLS Cup. We'll eat the barbecue afterwards.
So yeah, there are plenty of distractions, but RSL isn't going to be bothered by any of them. As for me, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. How big is MLS Cup? Well, it's not the World Cup, but it is basically the Super Bowl of American soccer. The game's going to be broadcast in over 150 countries. There are literally 300 journalists from all over the world to cover the two smallest market teams in the league, Kansas City and Real Salt Lake. How big is MLS Cup in Mexico?
It's growing, and it's a lot of interest for a lot of fans there.
Matthew, you've come all the way from France to cover MLS Cup, is that right?
Yeah, we understand that this is growing, this is becoming something huge here. Little by little, the MLS is growing, and I think one day it could be one of the top championships in the world.
This is a spectacle. This is a huge event for the league. It's the final, so obviously there's much more attention, media, publicly and all that. So you handle that, you're a professional. That's part of your job.
Obviously, again, this being the biggest game of the year for the entire league, you know that it's going to be viewed by more people across the world. But we can't be worried about that at all. We just worry about what we do inside the lines for the 90 minutes.
So you are broadcasting the game back to Mexico?
Yeah. 6 hours live from here.
And then he'll watch all the post-game coverage on Real Sports Live, ABC4, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And yes, journalists have come from all over. Let's see where this gentleman's from. Sir, where are you from?
I came here from the Avenues.
All the way from the Avenues.
Yes.
So while Real Salt Lake has a chance to win an American soccer title, they also have a chance to make an impression all over the world. And look, the cuisine's even international. French toast. In Kansas City, Dana Green, ABC4 and Utah Sports. Man, what a long, crazy day that was, but an absolutely awesome day. I got to hang out with some of the biggest soccer stars in the entire country, saw the actual MLS Cup, ate some amazing Kansas City barbecue, froze my you-know-what off, but it was all worth it. But let me tell you, I am just glad I'm back in my hotel where there is nothing awaiting but peace and quiet.
RSL! 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 RSL!
So how will Real Salt Lake sleep tonight?
We'll see.
I don't want to jinx you or anything.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be thinking about you tonight at 2 in the morning when I can't sleep.
No, don't think about me. Think about the rib.
There we go. We approach games the same way, no matter whether it's a regular season game or the MLS Cup. The only thing that changes is this is a spectacle.
It's also going to resemble an icicle. Cold temps in the air, but there's going to be some heat on the field. Kansas City plays very physically and may try to intimidate Real. There's no love lost between these teams?
No love lost, but I don't think that the past and the history of the matches we've had against each other matters too much tomorrow. I think You can throw all that out the window when you're playing in a championship, and every match takes on a life of its own, and I think that'll be the case again tomorrow.
We know it's going to be a battle, especially with the way Kansas City plays, so we're ready for a fight.
So after 2 weeks of hype, there's nothing left to do now but play the game.
Once the ball kicks off, there's only so much coaching and so much tactical stuff you can do. It's all the preparation, everything that goes into it. The game needs to be played, and it'll be played tomorrow.
All right, that's it. Got to get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. We'll see you at 1 o'clock on the CW for a special pregame show. Until then, good night. Oh, who am I kidding? RSL! RSL! RSL!
Time now for ABC4 Utah Sports with Dana Green.
So what if Oklahoma City didn't have Russell Westbrook or Serge Ibaka? Who cares if the best team in the West was thoroughly depleted? The Jazz beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll say it again. The Jazz beat the Thunder. They beat the great Kevin Durant and Oklahoma City. Best win of the season by far. Derek Favors setting the tone early. A nasty throwdown. He had 15. But this night belonged to Gordon Hayward. Best game of his NBA career. How does 37 points sound? Oh, not impressed. Try 13 of 16 from the field. Trey Burke doing his thing. The Jazz are up 12 points at the break on the mighty Thunder. At one point, midway through the third quarter, the Jazz were shooting 65%. That's not hot, that's scorching, which felt good in this weather, actually. Hayward was hitting from all over the court, taking it, making it unstoppable. And when Richard Jefferson drains this three, the Jazz are up 24. This is insane. Now, you knew Oklahoma City would make a run, and they did. Durant ends up with 48, Thunder within 6, but Hayward and the boys hold them off. The 37 points were a career high to go along with 11 rebounds, 7 assists. The final 112-101. Get excited, Jazz fans. Very impressive win. 7 offensive coordinators in 7 years. Is Dave Christensen finally the answer for the Utes football team? Christensen, who's known Kyle Whittingham for some 25 years, says yes.
The opportunity to come back and coach with him and coach in this conference was something that was, I got very excited.
You know what wasn't exciting? The Utes offense last season. Granted, quarterback Travis Wilson got injured, but under the leadership of Dennis Erickson, the Utes were 76th in total offense and 112th in turnover margin. That's not good.
You don't need to bash the guys that were running the offense in the past as we go forward, because I think we're on the right track, but we got to get better.
Christensen led a powerful offense when he was the offensive coordinator at Missouri. He didn't really have the tools to work with at Wyoming, and he says his system is similar to what the Utes were running.
It's not like we're going from a spread offense to the wishbone. There is a lot of carryover in what we're going to be doing, so I don't think it's as drastic of a change as you may think.
With the uncertainty surrounding Travis Wilson's future, the first thing Christensen needs to do is figure out who's going to be his quarterback.
I know that in the past we've had some issues there, and so we're going to try to do everything that we can to keep that guy healthy.
As for Erickson, he was demoted to running backs coach. Could be a problem, right? Well, Witt says keeping Erickson on staff will work out fine.
When I visited with Coach Erickson, when I was making this chase as Kyle, I've been in this profession so long, I don't need titles, I don't need anything. All I want to do is help you win.
We'll see if it works. Well, this weekend, the top freestyle aerial skiers in the country will be at Deer Valley competing for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. As we continue our series Going for the Gold, we take a look at Ashley Caldwell, who's in prime position to make it to Sochi despite overcoming 2 ACL injuries. Ashley Caldwell was a competitive gymnast all through her childhood, but when she was 13 years old, watching the 2006 Winter Olympics with her parents, she saw freestyle aerials and it changed her life.
I had skied recreationally for a long time and did gymnastics, and my mom was like, oh, you can ski and you can flip. You should definitely go try to do that. I was like, Mom, that guy just did like 17 flips. You sure you want me doing that?
So at 14, she moved from Virginia to Lake Placid, New York to train, and after just 3 years, made the Olympic team. At 16 years old, she was the youngest U.S. Olympian in Vancouver, where she finished 10th. Aerials just came naturally to Caldwell thanks to her gymnastics background.
it did help me a lot in aerials, the air awareness, the technical, the strength, everything like that, but also the mental aspects, knowing how to work hard to push through pain, to push through tough days.
There were plenty of tough days for Ashley after undergoing 2 ACL surgeries within a year. But after missing most of the 2012 season, Ashley worked her way back and is in prime position to make her second Olympic team at the ripe old age of 20.
I qualified new tricks, I did new tricks, I pushed the boundaries a lot, and I'm really strong right now, probably the strongest I've ever been.
Even though she tore ligaments in both of her knees, Caldwell hasn't lost any confidence.
That's my only real fear, is that I'll let fear get in the way. Our sport is inherently scary. We go and do flips 60 feet up in the air and try and land on skis, and everybody looks at that, and it's obviously really difficult and scary, but you have to be able to acknowledge that fear, understand that you've been working very hard, and we do thousands of jumps, and still go out there, hop, turn your skis, and do what you know how to do.
And that's the amazing thing about this sport. You don't have to be a great skier to be a good aerialist. You just have to have no fear, and she's got that gymnastic acrobatic ability.
Gymnast. And be able to land.
And be able to land. You got to have those strong knees. She tore 2 ACLs, and she's back out there and is probably going to make her second Olympics. What were you doing at 20 years old? Going to your second Olympics?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In my mind. I was winning a lot of events in my mind.
Definition of overachieving,
Say,
huh?
Exactly.
Picking my nose in my college dorm room or something.
I'm glad I asked. I'm glad I asked.
Yeah,
Kim.
I'm so sad she
That's what I'm here
answered.
for.
We'll be right back with weather.
Wake up weather.